Hello everybody, my name is Ratnos, and today I have 3 exciting Shadowlands engineering items that are, I'd say at least the first 2 are maybe must-haves for Mythic Plus if you don't have a similar effect from your class kit. So many know, although some don't know, that the Battle Res item has returned in Shadowlands. The one that you got in BFA doesn't work anymore, but if you get Shadowlands Engineering, level it up to 50, you can buy this thing and use it as a battle res. It's short range, it has a chance to backfire, it's still way better than not having a battle res. So for any class that doesn't have a battle res, I would say that Engineering is basically mandatory if your goal is to push high keys, if you're trying to be as helpful to your team as possible. One thing to note as well is that this is part of the leveling path for a lot of engineers are using this to level their engineering up, which means that you can buy this often for cheaper than the raw parts from the auction house. So if you want to stock up on these things, that may or may not be true depending on your server. You can look into it, but consider the possibility rather than just crafting a bunch yourself. The other thing that engineering can bring this expansion that's really useful in Mythic Plus is the Belt Tinker. So if you open up your engineering belt, I've pulled a mob here. All right, we'll kill this thing while we talk. There are 3 different belt tinkers you can get. The damage retaliator is basically like a slight DPS increase if tanks use it. It gives you like a Thorns effect. The electro jump is a short teleport in a random direction, which random direction really not the direction you want to be teleporting in usually. So that leaves dimensional shifter, which is actually really powerful. So this one lets you turn invisible while out of combat. So you just you hit the bind for it, and you'll go invisible, and it's 15 seconds, so instead of the 18 from invis pots, but it's only on a 2-minute cooldown instead of a 5-minute cooldown, and it doesn't share a cooldown with your potions. But it does have a chance to backfire, and it will get broken by doing anything, even like looting a mob or activating any ability, trying to mount, so none of that is still allowed. It can backfire. The backfire is 15-second debuff instead, and the debuff prevents you from turning invisible. But it doesn't have any other ill effects. So if it does backfire, you just need to wait 15 seconds and then you can use another invisibility effect. Because of the chance of backfiring existing, I would recommend against using this as a primary plan for any invis skips in dungeons. I would rather use the invis pots instead because, if your whole group is using this belt tinker every time, there's a good chance that somebody is going to be delayed for 15 seconds by the thing backfiring, and I don't think that's worth it. But if you get in a spot where like your group wipes and you've already invis skipped somewhere, so your invis pot's on cooldown and you need to skip to catch back up to them, this is a great way to have a pretty good chance of getting an invis skip again to catch up to your group and have it be not a problem. So I would recommend having this thing for basically all players. If you're a druid or a rogue, you might not need this, but if you're a rogue, you should be an engineer for the battle res as well. So really only druids, I would say, that can get away without engineering this expansion. But honestly, even if you are a druid, I would be an engineer this expansion. And this is something that's useful for not just Mythic Plusers, but for really anybody this game, this expansion, is the Wormhole Generator Shadowlands. So this thing is a toy that you can either make yourself if you get to Honored with the Undying Army, which you'll notice I'm not, because you can also just buy it from the auction house. And it cost me something like 6k, and you can use it every 15 minutes, and it gives you a wormhole, and unlike other wormholes, it just has 6 options on it. So instead of taking you to a random Shadowlands place, you can choose which zone it'll take you to, and it will take you to the same spot within that zone every single time you use it. So you can learn where those are, and make some pretty good decisions about how to get around Shadowlands faster. So this is a really, really, really strong thing. I think this is stronger than a Hearthstone. I mean, it's on the same cooldown, right? And it's it can take you anywhere instead of just Orbos. Or your Covenant Order Hall. So I would absolutely recommend getting this thing, making all your characters Shadowlands engineers. One note about the engineering level you should be: you only need to be like level 50 to have all these things and use them, but I've heard that the drawback chance, the chance for backfire on the Dimensional Shifter, goes down as you get more engineering levels. So I would recommend getting your engineering all the way up to 100 if you care. This stupid abductor is coming in ruining my video. Maybe I shouldn't have recorded this in the mob with 4 stacks of or 4 ranks of the Jailer, whatever. So because of that, you may want to get your engineering all the way up to level 100. This is somewhat expensive at the highest levels, but you can get around it with world quests. There are engineering world quests, so you can do it slowly over time. I don't see if I have any on my map right now, but if you do, when they do show up, they give you 1 engineering point each, 1 Shadowlands engineering point each. So you can get those last 6 or 3 or however many points that way. Also, whenever the Dark Moon Fair is in town, you can just swing by there, do a 2-minute quest, and you get 5 whole points of Shadowlands Engineering. Save that for 95 to 100, right? Don't use that for getting from 1 to 5, or I guess 1 to 6. And yeah, that's my video here on 3 Shadowlands Engineering things that are really useful. There might be some more, so if you've got something cool that you can do with any of these other devices or whatever, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Check out my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Dratnos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.